CQ15. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling 15. CQ15 meters. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling 15 meters. CQ15 meters. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling 15 meters. I think it was a Sierra Victor, ending Oceana, Sierra Victor station. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mark in the southeast of England. Back to you. Yeah, Sugar Victor 0, Sugar Radio Sugar, I believe. The name, yeah, you've got the name Mark in Sidcup in Kent. They're about 20 kilometres southeast of the city of London. And today I'm using an old Tango Sierra 520 Sierra and about 100 watts into a long wire, 30 metres long. So over to you, old chap. Sierra Victor 0. Sierra Radio Sierra. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
And the location is 40 kilometres south of the city of Kalamata into the Peloponnese. Over.
QSL, and well, thanks for the information. Your signal is 5 and 9. Thanks for the 5 and 9 to me, but your signal 5 and 9. But for some reason this morning I have a very high noise floor on 15 meters. I don't know if maybe somebody local to me is running a device. It's giving me a lot of noise. Normally not as loud as this. Normally my noise floor on 15 is incredibly low, maybe S1, S2 at worst, but today it's just over the top, and obviously I'm missing signals because people are just in it. But I'm just looking you up on QRZ, and as I say, you can find me on QRZ. You can see this radio on QRZ, and you'll see that I do like a lot of old rubbish. That's the best way to describe my collection. Is I do like a lot of yeah, old valve and hybrid radios. So yeah, I'm just thinking Agios Nikalios. Do you know what? I believe I've been there on holiday. It was way back in the 1980s, or if I wasn't actually in that town, I was very close by. Tony, back to you. And the accent sort of almost gives you away. I don't want to insult you by saying, are you English by any chance, Tony? SV0SRS. This is M0 JCF.
Years ago, emigrated from the UK, so relatively new to amateur radio. Passed my licence in the early 80s with the Trio G6PDA, and gave up for one reason or another, and then got the interest rekindled about 2 years ago now. So we started going through the process of collecting all the paperwork back and getting the old call sign issued and exchanging it for a Greek one, hence the SV0. The 0 denotes a foreign licence holder that lives in Greece. So the usual call for this area is Sugar Victor 3. So that's the call for the Peloponnese, but because I'm a foreigner, I'm an immigrant, Trio SV0. Okay, on the radio, is it, you quoted the names with the names and the numbers are beyond me. Is it an old Trio set over?
Yeah, QSL Tony. It's a Tango Sierra 520 Sierra. It's a Trio and it's a hybrid. So you know, it's just valve driver and valve outputs. The outputs being a pair of 6146 betas, and yeah, it's a lovely old radio. It's analog as well. There's no digital display on this one. But I actually you say you was a G6. I think you said PDA. I'm just checking you out on a QRZ, and yeah, G6 PDA back in the day. But you know, I failed my RAE in 1978. Otherwise, I probably would have been a G8 or even a G4, possibly a G0 had I got my finger out. But you know, I was a stroppy teenager. I failed the exam, so I threw my toys out the pram, and I never got my amateur license until 2017, and I came back into the hobby. Got some modern radios, but you know, I always harked back to those days of when I was a boy in the 70s and 80s. Well, I say a boy, I was a teenager and in my 20s, and you know, all those old radios that I wanted back in the day, and I've just started collecting them, Tony. So as I say, I've got the TS-520S, which I've had for nearly a year now, and been using it pretty much for that year. I've got an FT101ZD, and to be honest, I've got a lot more. I won't list them here, but you know, I've got a lot more radios from the 60s and 70s, and as well as some modern stuff. So all the heavyweights, as I call them, all the boat anchors, they're down in the garage, and which is where I am now. And then all my modern stuff, you know, all the pure solid state stuff, and stuff with digital displays and God knows what else, that's all up in the loft. And on a Saturday morning, I don't tend to, you know, to sort of smash around in the roof space above everyone's bedrooms. I live in a house with my good lady wife and two daughters. Both my daughters are in their 20s, and you can imagine living in a house of three women on a Saturday morning. If I'm going to go smashing around up in the roof space, you can imagine the sort of trouble that I get myself into. So it's really quite nice to come out into the garage. It's quiet. I'm lonely out here, in as much as, you know, no one's going to complain about the noise I make, and just fire up these old girls and give it a go. So there you go. It's a bit of a long over there for you, Tony. SV0SRS M0 JCF.
Yeah, we've got the noise now, Mark. It's come up. We've got S7 and noise. So we're getting it. It seems to be the conditions at the moment. So yeah, WX at the moment here. We're about 15 degrees. So you're changing we have at the moment. Yeah, the old Trio sets. I can remember we used to have a dealer fairly local to where we used to live, Lens, out at Matlock, Matlock Baths. There used to be the Trios and Grey because you could buy the Kenwoods, but you could also buy the Trios. So that seems to ring a bell with me. But okay on the garage. Actually, one of the downstairs bedrooms, we've got a topsy-turvy house due to the flu. So we actually the bedrooms are downstairs. So I'll find one of the bedrooms. Like I say, relatively new station. Equipment this side of PDX1200 running 100 watts into a NFL one-wire antenna at the moment. Also with a cobweb, but then a telescopic mast, but that's on at the moment due to the high winds. We actually live in between two gorges, and the wind fills up the gorge, so we do get high winds from time to time. Make sure you're still getting me, and the noise doesn't come up at your end anymore. So look forward to you, Mark.
Yeah, Sierra Victor 0, Sierra Radio Sierra, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox returning. All good stuff, Tony. Yeah, you got some modern equipment there, and nice to see someone else using an end-fed as well. So my long wire, it's 90 feet long, but it's in an inverted U type of shape. So it's not like the full 90 feet horizontal. I do have vertical sections at each end. It was a case of getting as much copper in the sky. The reason I've got a long wire rather than say a dipole or something a bit more sophisticated is I've always used long wires for shortwave listening and for crystal set building, TRF radios, regenerative radios. That I do like to build those even to this day. You know, with all the equipment around me, I still like to build simple receivers. So since 1974, whatever property I've lived in or owned, I've always had a long wire up, because you know, the most simple antenna to put up. And when I got my license in 2017, I just literally put the 9-to-1 on this antenna, and I've just used it ever since. You know, it's quite a lazy antenna, really. I do have other HF antennas, but none of them are up. I've got a G5RV which has been sitting in the garage for 3 years now, and I've also got a Diamond CP6 trapped vertical with radials. That's got to go up. Got some VHF antennas up as well. You know, I've got a 9-element LFA and a copper pipe J-pole, and I did have a vertical for 10 meters, but the 10 meter antenna's gone, so that I can get the CP6 pushed up there. And you know, basically there's a lot of metal work at the back and side of my house, which is, you know, quite ugly in some respects, especially to those that the station managers that I live with. So, you know, I've got to be very careful of what I stick up. So yeah, the HF side of things, you know, as I say, the wire is unobtrusive. You know, it's always been there, so it's acceptable to the neighbours as well. You know, it's just a wire at the end of the day. They don't take any notice, get no complaints about what it all looks like at the back of my house. And that's the story, really. You know, it just cracking on. It's a beautiful day here, or it's a beautiful morning. Obviously, it's not 9 o'clock yet, Tony. Your 15 degrees has already got me jealous, but I think we're expecting a high of about 15 degrees here today. Yesterday and today, beautiful blue skies out there. And I've actually been, you know, doing maintenance work in the garden, you know, the post-winter maintenance work. I'm sure you remember all of that in good old Blighty when you was over here. But I just see as well, when I said Agios Nikalios, I see that you're on mainland Greece. And for some reason, I mean, it's probably a very common name anyway, but, you know, I'm sure there was an Agios Nikalios is either Crete, Rhodes or Corfu. I can't remember. Way back in the 1980s, since I visited all of those islands, so I'm sure they've all got an Agios Nikalios. But just checking QRZ, I see that you was on the mainland. But yeah, I did think at one time that you was on one of the islands. So I've never been to the Greek mainlands, but I have been to 4 or 5 of the Greek islands around that way. I say from Corfu in the northwest, right down to Crete and Rhodes and Zakynthos, or Zante as it's known. You know, I've been to those islands, and you know, a few other places around there. So that's my story there, Tony. I've had to back off the RF gain about 75%. That made your signal nice and clear, but it's 15 meters. It doesn't matter how large this band is, someone always manages to drop almost on top of you, you know. And someone has come up very close by. I think they're possibly above us, judging by the tone of the QR Mexico coming from them. But of course, I have picked a bit of a spot frequency to call on, which was 21-210, and that's probably, you know, really I would have been better off picking an oddball frequency higher up the band. I always find that above 300 never gets very crowded on 50 15 meters, but anywhere between sort of 200 and 300, it's where everyone congregates. I suppose it's that old thing, you know, like if he's calling there, then if I go very close to him, whoever was talking to him will find me next, you know. I think that's the sort of philosophy there, which is why everyone crams. That was a bit of a long over there for you, Tony. SV0SRS, this is M0JCF.
M0JCF, Sierra Victor 0, Sierra Rio Sierra. Well, as to the place name, there is literally hundreds of them. Rough translated, it means St. Nicholas. There's, even on the mainland, I think there's about 7 or 8 of them. Also, the little village that we lived down onto, literally translated, St. Demetrius. So, as you go around different places in Greece, you can actually tell where the local saints are. So, there's a lot of Demetriuses and Nicholases in the village. I think on course 4 there's a lot of Spiroses, so that's the local saint. But if you go onto the QRZ and bring the map up and sort of zoom out or zoom in, you see exactly where they are. But I started off with the long wire antenna. I wanted something that was unobtrusive. I had basically orders from the XYO, no antennas in the view to sea or into the mountains. So that's what I started out with. I got the MFJ, it said no tuner required, so I thought, well, that'll do. It's the only radio I've got, the FT1200. There's very little VHF and UHF in this area, so it has to be HF. But yeah, going back to the old ROE, I took my ROE, I think it was 84, and I then went on, it was VHF only. Took my Morse test, but really awesome and injury. I had a lot of TSO cards already printed with a G6. And I thought, well, I'll get rid of those first before I actually change the call sign and initiate the Morse test and go for a G0 call sign. But basically lost interest and one thing took over, so I never did it. So I'm starting to learn the Morse again, starting to learn the CW again. Maybe one day I should get competent enough to use it. It will be on a feed, not on the computer, not into computer operated radios, not into SDOs or anything like that. So I will make this the final. I've just been informed that there's a cup of coffee waiting for me, so I shall make this the final. And it's been a pleasure having this QSO with you. I think it's our first one, Mark, so I shall put you in the log. And hopefully we'll work on a different band at some other time. Nice one back to you, Mark.
Yeah, SV0SRS M0JCF. Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you on this fine Saturday morning, and always lovely to work an expat as well, overseas. As I say, your accent to start with caught me out, you know, and when you know, like it was. Hang on a minute, have I got the call sign right? Have I got it wrong? Have I got the accent right? You sort of caught me, and of course we talked to a lot, especially on 40 meters and 10 meters. I talked to a lot of expats in places like Spain and France as well, and sort of stops you in your tracks momentarily, and then you end up with like this, a good old rag chew. But yeah, you're right about the Agios Nikalios. Now you say it, yeah, I remember it's all coming back to me. You know, when you're first picked up from the airport and they tell you, all the common names, and as you say, Spiro or or Spiros, you know. Yeah, every other waiter in Greece was called Spiros, you know. So you're quite right. And the Agios Nikalios, now you've explained it, Saint Nick, you know, or St Nicholas, then yeah, it's all come back to me. Those little chats that you get when you're on the bus coming from the airport to your resort, and they explain all of these very common things, you know, sort of locally. It was nice to be refreshed of that, and I'm glad you did that, and I'm glad that I was quite correct then. I probably have been to an Agios Nikalios on one of the Greek islands, and obviously one day I might even get to the Greek mainland, who can tell. Tony, enjoy your coffee. I'm just going to go and check on my youngest daughter. I say my youngest, she's 22. She's off for the weekend, and I think she's got a train at just after 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to go and double check how she's getting to the station. So it's probably a good time for me to end as well. But I really appreciate the chat. Yeah, find me on another band, or if I'm on 15, just come in for another chat. It's not a problem, mate. Very best 73 to you and your good lady wife. Enjoy the Greek weather, enjoy the coffee, and I'll say bye-bye for now. 73, old chap. SV0SRS, M0JCF. Cheers, mate.
This is
73 and good luck. QRZ for a report. If anyone would like a report before I go QRT, this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Nothing is heard, nothing is heard. So Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot going QRT. This frequency is clear for use. This frequency is clear for use.